So, we all know AI is ridiculously powerful, right? But let's be honest, the costs can feel like a total black box. One minute you're building something amazing, the next your bill is spiraling out of control. Well, today we're going to fix that. We are going to make sure every single token earns its keep. See, this is all about mastering something called token utilization. That's the key that unlocks the whole black box of AI spending. We're going to get into what tokens are, exactly how they drive your costs, and, most importantly, how you can slash your bill without sacrificing an ounce of quality. So here's the game plan. We'll start with the fundamentals in Tokens 101. Then we'll dissect an AI request to see where the money's really going. After that, we'll check out the real-world price tags, give you an optimization playbook, and wrap up with how to make cost control a permanent part of your process. All right, let's dive right in. Section 1. Tokens 101. We're going to get a solid grip on the one thing that drives pretty much every single cent you spend on AI. It really all boils down to this one simple question. So what on earth is a token? The easiest way to think about it is this. A token is just a piece of text. You can think of them like little Lego bricks of language. They're the billable units, the currency that an AI model uses to read what you send it and to write its response back. And you're going to want to remember this. Here is a fantastic rule of thumb. For English text, about 4 characters equals 1 token. So 100 tokens, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 to 80 words. This is super, super useful for doing those quick, back-of-the-napkin cost estimates. Now, this is absolutely critical. You have to understand that this is not a one-way street. You get billed for everything. You pay for the input tokens, that's your prompt and all the context, and you pay for the output tokens, that's the answer the model gives you. Both sides of the conversation cost money. Okay, so we know what a token is, but where do they all come from? Let's follow the money. Let's pull apart a standard AI request and find all those hidden token costs. In a real-world scenario, tokens are hiding in plain sight, literally everywhere. It's so much more than just the user's question. You're spending tokens on your system prompt, on your detailed instructions, on defining any tools the model can use, and, this is a big one, on any documents you retrieve in a RAG system. All of that gets bundled together before the model even starts generating a single output token. Okay, we know what they are, we know where they're spent. Now for the million-dollar question, what do they actually cost? Let's take a quick look at the pricing landscape from the big providers. Kicking things off with Google's Gemini family, you can see a really clear pattern. Look at 1.5 Pro. The output can cost 4 times more than the input. And this tiered system is pretty standard. You've got your powerhouse models at the top, and then these super fast, low-cost flash models for when you need speed and volume. Now, if we jump over to OpenAI, guess what? It's a very similar story. The top-tier models have that premium price tag, especially on the output. But then you have these mini and nano versions that are way, way more budget-friendly. The price difference between the top and bottom is just massive. And this is where you really see the premium for that cutting-edge intelligence. Look at Anthropic's Claude 4 Opus. $15 for input and a whopping $75 for output per million tokens. It's in a league of its own. But notice they also have Haiku for a tiny fraction of that cost. This just proves it. Your choice of model is the biggest cost lever you can pull. So, how do you actually calculate this stuff for yourself? It's easy. It all boils down to this one universal formula. Your total cost is just your input tokens times the input rate, plus your output tokens times the output rate. This simple bit of math is behind every single API bill you'll ever get. All right, enough theory. Now that we get the mechanics, it's time to get our hands dirty. Let's open up the optimization playbook and talk about how you can take direct control of that AI bill. Your first move, and honestly, the most powerful one, is always picking the right model for the job. You have to weigh what it can do against what it costs. You don't always need to call in the big guns, that expensive top-tier model, when a faster, cheaper one will do the job just fine. Okay, now for a really important warning about these massive context windows. They seem amazing, but they can be a huge budget trap. And here's the catch. Every single token you stuff into their context window gets reprocessed and billed on every single API call. For long conversations, you have to be smart. Summarize the history, only send the relevant chunks, keep that context lean. And here it is, your tactical checklist. Now, I'm not going to read all 10 of these, but I do want to call out a couple of my favorites. Routing simple jobs to cheaper models, that's a huge win. Same with right-sizing your RAG documents before you feed them to the AI. Take a second to scan this list. Every single one of these can make a real dent in your bill. Okay, last section. Let's zoom all the way out. Because really getting a handle on your AI bill, it isn't a one-time fix. It's about building a new habit, a new way of thinking into your entire workflow. See, true cost mastery is an ongoing process. It's not some checkbox you tick at the very end. It has to be part of the conversation from day one, when you're just sketching out the concept, through design, development, testing, and all the way to deployment. It's a continuous loop of optimization. Which brings us full circle right back to our main principle. If you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. Every single token should have a job. If it's not actively helping to create a better result, it has no business being in your prompt. Period. Hey, thanks so much for watching. You've got the framework, you've got the tactics. Now it's time to get out there and start optimizing. So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. When you look at your own projects, what is the single biggest, most token-heavy area you could start working on first?